everybody and welcome on today's video. Today I'd like to work on my birches because, well, as I already said a few times, I had quite a bad summer and most of my birches did not do so well. My root over rock did not well. My clump style did not well, so I'm thinking maybe I should replace everything and make one bigger, well, how should I say, I should combine a few projects and abandon some for the moment, and yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I also found a few little birches around that I put in a pot, and well, let's come in a little closer and see what I can do. So just for starters, this is the pot that I'm planning to use today. I prepared the pot. It contains 2/3 of my usual mix and then 1/3 of just, garden compost. So I'm going to mix that here and maybe just take a little bit of this to cover the drainage holes. So let's put that aside. So the first tree that I'm going to work on is this birch. It was part of a clump style, but as you probably can see, well, there's not a lot of clump left. Well, not really. There is some clump left, but not a fusion clump. This tree is making a few suckers, but the trouble is the plan was to have roots from this one up to here, roots from another who died up to there, and then a third making roots there. So that's of course not going to be possible because, well, there's only one tree left. So what was the problem? Well, obviously that's this tray is very shallow, and well, that's not working in this in some circumstances when it gets really hot. So let's clean up this stuff and see how I can replant this. So as you see, there's roots over here, there's nothing here, which was the plan, of course. I'm going to remove this little piece of wire here, which is not serving any purpose at this very moment, and I'm going to remove this soil. So this tree grew well, so I cannot complain about this one. The problem is that, well, you see, that was the other tree, and what I'm going to do next depends on what I find here. If there are nice roots here that I can use, maybe let them develop, and take some time, of course, to do these things. I could do with 2 trees, 1 tree, 3 trees, I don't know. So it's always a surprise when you are working on the top part of your tree. Well, it's clear that you can see what you need to do, but when it's about the roots, well, you gotta get it out of the pot. And I don't really need to remove all the soil between the roots. That's not necessary, but I need to see if I can reposition some, because if I can reposition some, I might be able to fill up this empty part, and that would be enough to create a nice root base. But see, I'm lacking a few roots here, but maybe by opening this up it's gonna be okay. So, can you wire roots? Well, I guess you can. Wiring roots is something you do not do often, and well, there's a good reason for that. That's not the best thing to do, but yeah, sometimes you have to make a decision. So here we have a big, strong root. Too strong, I think. But yeah, let's not damage the roots that we have. This is not a good root. I need to remove that. It's on top of another root, so I'm not going to use that. But here I have some roots that I probably can position a little more like in this spot, and then this could also come a little bit to this spot. So I'm going to try to open up that and give it some movement. So I'm using copper wire to do this, and it's just giving movement, you know. I'm not going to wire roots completely, which would be very strange, but it has been done before. So this side, it's just wrapping some wire softly around the root. So this one comes nicely to here, and I want this one to come a little more to here. So I'm going to make a small loop around this spot, very loose. Trying not to damage the fine roots here. And so this provides a nice radial root base now, which I like a whole lot more. So that's all that I need to do. And I'm going to leave some pieces quite hard out of the soil so that I can see where they are. I might even try to open this a little more up to here. So just a silly construction, but as long as it does the job, I'm gonna be happy. So I'll anchor this here and then try to loop it around this piece of wire. So let me see how long this should be. I can even use this piece of wire. Yeah. Okay, so if it comes here, I have a nice root spread. So I'm just looping this, put a little hook so that it doesn't move, and that's it. Now from a one-sided root base to what I have now is very good. So yeah, maybe I'll remove some of the unwanted roots here. So I need my scissors. Okay, so this is the strongest root that I have, and I think it is too strong. I definitely don't need this little root here on top. And maybe I can remove, no, I'm not sure. This is really, well, I'll do it gradually. So reducing this, what did I take off? Not too much, that's okay. I have two roots here that are doing almost the same, so maybe just remove a little one here. What did I take off? Well, that's reasonable. And then Here we have a whole cluster of roots. It's double. This one is closer to the trunk, so that's better. There's a little one here in the middle. This one is definitely not good, and it is not doing a whole lot also. And then maybe I'll remove this one. And there I do more. Yes. Okay, so that reduces the roots. Not a whole lot, but okay. So now you say, yeah, well, you were supposed to make a clump. Well, I have a clump because this tree has two little suckers here. And then, of course, yeah, well, in when it starts to grow, I'll have to choose a new top for the big part here, and these have to keep up. So that's why I wanted to start putting these roots in a nice position so that they don't have to come out of the pot every year. So I think this is going to be good. So let's pot this up, and well, that's it. So quite a few things changed now for this tree, and yeah, I have to pick a front, and that's going to be a little bit complicated. These two will have to grow for a whole year, no touching at all. And so I guess I have to remove the big part here and maybe keep this one as a new leader, which is possible. But then the front should be somewhere like this or something like this. And I think I prefer this because the two smallest one in the back, it's going to be a little bit better. And yeah, so let me see from the front here if this is even possible. I think it is. So something like that. So let's add a mountain of substrate. And then tuck the roots in, trying to open them up as good as I can. Let me see for the front. Yeah, that's almost what it should be. So opening up the roots, always important, because if everything works now and the tree doesn't dry out and the world doesn't explode, okay. So that's the best I can do, I think. So let's just fill this up. So the circling roots around the pot, I don't care about that. Okay, I'm going to work this in and then cover up with some good draining soil. I'm also going to add a few pieces of moss. It's always nice to have some green on your topsoil. And the good thing to do that right now is that in autumn this moss is going to spread quite fast, and then I might have a nice carpet of moss. And if you put your moss before your final soil layer, you can always put some substrate between the moss pads, and it doesn't matter if you cover them up a little, especially in autumn. That's a trick I learned from the time that I was in a bonsai club. And it really works. So that's it. A little piece of weed here in this moss, so you do not want to encourage that. So, well, yes, that's it. So the roots on this little birch are now well spread, I dare to say, not constricted, because that's always risk when you wire roots, and there's no way you can reuse that wire. It's going to be cutting off. But I am very happy because this tree is now in a deep pot. It will be much more protected if the heavy sun hits. It is still a clump. It is a real clump. The nice thing about wiring roots is that you see there's a little piece of copper sticking out here, but in maybe a month or two this will not be necessary, of course, because the roots are going to be held in place by the substrate, so this can be removed and you won't see it at all in the next growing season. So the two little guys here in the back, well, I'll let them grow. Maybe there will be some more, because that's what birches do. And then in spring I'll probably cut back up to maybe here or here, so that the tree trunks will be a little more balanced. So I'm going to water this now. Repotting and transpotting in the fall is sometimes a dangerous thing, but the forecast for the weather said that we're not going to have any frost in the coming 3 weeks, so it will not really matter. So it's quite safe to do this now. So I'm going to water this. So this is what is left of my nice trunk over root birch project, fusion project. So, well, one birch, so that's not good. I'll have to start all over again next spring. Yeah, what can you do? But I think I'm going to do something completely different. I think I will try to stop this trunk over root thing. I'm not wild about it. It just doesn't make too much sense. Well, maybe this one does, because it's quite okay. It's surrounding the rock. But I think I'll really go and do an authentic root over rock. So I'm going to get this out of the pot next spring. And then I have this little one. But this is a tiny little one, but okay, it's alive, so it's happy. And then I have another one in a big pot. Wait a minute, I'll show you that. So these are the pots where my wife keeps her plants, and I think this is Hedera, and well, all kinds of nice little plants. And then, of course, because we have quite a lot of birches in the neighborhood, the seeds they are everywhere. So well, this is a little birch that decided to grow here, so I'll have to get this out, or maybe find another one, because we have little plants all over place here. So yeah, so I think that's what I will do with this root over rock. I'll grab the roots, I'll take the little plants, wrap the roots around it, cover that with moss, raffia, and then put it up in a deep pot, and that's gonna be it. So, well, that's the plan for the beginning of the next growing season, so I will do that in spring. So in the meantime, thank you for watching. See you next time.